Hey there guys, I'm Hello Japan, and welcome to the final video game conference video thing that I've been doing over the past 2 days or so. Yesterday I watched 4 press conferences, which was like 7 hours of video, which was a very, very long time. It was yesterday was Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Sony. And now today, technically, Nintendo doesn't do a press conference anymore, so a lot of people don't even talk about it. But because I'm still a Nintendo fan, and always have been and always will be, I figured, hey, gotta show the big N some love. So we're gonna sit down today and talk about some of the stuff they revealed in their newest Nintendo Direct. First off, I want to say that this Nintendo Direct was really, really weird. They had some weird collaboration with the Robot Chicken guys, and they had some weird animated segments with both Reggie, Mario, Donkey Kong. They had a lot of weird situational comedy going on. It was interesting to see. Nice to see Nintendo, doing something a little funny and not reserving their characters for like the golden pedestal or putting on the highest display they can, similar to like what Disney does. I like to see that Nintendo's like, yeah, that's pretty funny. So you Robot Chicken guys, come on over and let's make something a little funny, and you can work with us. I actually thought it was very interesting, and sorry about the car out there. So very interested to see what it was cool to see them do something a little bit more entertaining for E3 this year. But to start off with the games that they showed, they started off with Super Smash Brothers Brawl, or rather Super Smash Brothers Wii U, and I guess the 3DS version at the same time. They showed off a couple new characters for this Nintendo Direct. They showed off the fact that you can actually play as your Mii. Now, the cool thing about being able to play as a Mii is it's not only you can make your Mii and play as you, but you can also, because of the way the Mii customization thing works, is you can play as any Mii you can think of, or any character you can think of. Like, I remember on the Wii, the original Wii, they had this program, I don't know if they have it on the Wii U or not, where you could import other people's designed Miis into your console, and use them for Wii Sports, or use them for whatever whatever game you want. But it was very cool to see that they're offering now the ability to basically have unlimited characters to a certain extent, but have unlimited characters and allow you to pick different classes for those characters. Because not only did they announce the Mii character, but they also announced 3 different subsets of playstyles you can use those Miis for. You can either play as a brawler, which is just a straight-up fighter, very classic Nintendo, just fist fighting, kicking, that sort of thing. A sword fighter, which is more reminiscent of someone like Link or Marth or Roy or Ike, one of those swordplay characters. Or a gunner, which it looks, if you look at their arm, I don't think I'll probably have an image of it right up on the screen right now. It's probably just the same still image you guys will be seeing. But if you go and look for it, the Mii gunner in the new Super Smash Brothers game, it's like a Mega Man cannon arm. It looks very reminiscent of something that Mega Man would have, and interestingly enough, Mega Man is in the game, so maybe that's where they got it from. But it is still cool to see the fact that there's not just the Mii was shoveled into the game. It's like, oh, he has the same moveset over all of them, but you get to pick your own. Be like, oh, this time I want to be a brawler, or this time I want to be a sword fighter, or this time I want to be a gunner. It's very cool to see them giving you a little bit more flexibility with, I guess, customization to a certain extent, but it's not quite. I mean, if you can actually change your Mii's clothing and that inside the game, that would be really neat, but I don't foresee things like that happening. The game is coming out this holiday 2014, and they did also give a little bit more insight onto the NFC statues or figurines that in Nintendo's, I don't know if they leaked it or just talked about it a little while ago, but basically picture Skylanders or Disney Infinity and take Mario characters, Nintendo characters, and make figurines out of those. Yeah, exactly. You can make a lot of them and you make a lot of money quickly. But basically what they're going to be used for is to store data onto these characters that you can transfer from game to game using the Wii U gamepad, because it has an NFC or a chip reader built into the gamepad, which is something you could use potentially for other games, as they've kind of mentioned will be implemented into Mario Kart 8 at a later date. And these figurines, they're calling them as a whole, not NFC characters or statues, but they're calling this whole idea, they're calling it Amiiboy. And that's spelled A-M-I-I, like me, and then B-O. Like amoeba, but Amiiboy. Very interesting name. It is catchy. It's like, oh, Amiiboy, oh, funny. But I am actually intrigued by this. I'm not one to buy statues. I do actually have 3 Skylanders for the Xbox, because I received Skylanders as a gift from someone. And the game's not bad. I don't go and collect the characters or anything, but I do have 3 characters, and I've played some of the game, and that's not bad. So, is it a really good way to make money quickly? Yes. But it's still, I don't know, something else you don't need. But it is using the technology that is built into the gamepad already, which I do like to see. And, if it's used in a smart way later on, maybe you can buy a figurine from, I don't know, Best Buy, Target, GameStop, Walmart, wherever you have you. It doesn't matter. Amazon. Maybe if you buy a special figurine from these places, you can unlock, maybe not even unlock, but just get new characters instead of doing traditional DLC for, like, if they release a character later on. You can just buy the statue or buy the figurine and be like, hey, boop, put it on your gamepad, let it sit there for a second, you've unlocked a new character. Something like that I think would be really, really interesting to see. And I'm looking very much so forward to the introduction of that type of technology further down the line. And, really am looking forward to seeing how developers plan to utilize that. And after that, they spent every in between showing games, they spent a lot of time doing little dumb skits, again with the Robot Chicken guys, and doing little funny things. And I didn't write any of them down, but if you do get the chance, I believe they're gonna have their full Nintendo Direct on their YouTube channel, so you can always go look at it there. I thought it was funny and a good time all around. So it was different and less serious than they've been in the past, which I did like. But after that, they showed off Yoshi's Woolly World, which I had no idea was being made. I knew they made, what was it called? Kirby's Epic Yarn, I believe it was called, where they created the whole game out of yarn. And that's just what they're doing with this Yoshi game. Basically, it's like Yoshi's Island, traditional 2D side-scrolling, throwing eggs, tongue action, basic traditional Yoshi fun, but in the style of yarn and wool and that sort of thing. And it looks pretty cool. There's not really much else to say besides the art style, and the graphics are just the most damn cool thing I've seen in a long time. Each little, if you look at the Yoshi, his little big green nose, you can see the interwoven pieces of yarn that make his nose. It's an incredible thing to see. But sadly, that game's not coming out until 2015, so we do have to wait a little bit, wait a little while until we actually get the game. But they did reveal a couple things. The fact that, like in Epic Yarn, Kirby could transform into weird shapes, do all kinds of things. But granted, that is Kirby. So with this game, certain aspects like Yoshi doing the flutter kick to, extend his reach a little bit further, instead of his feet just going ee, and he's doing the little flutter kick to get a little bit further away. His legs turned in, at least that's what it looked like. It turned in like a propeller thing. It was like doing the flutter kick, but it was just his legs transformed into something. And a couple more funny little transformations like that. Nice to see in the game. And there was also drop-in, drop-out co-op where a friend can jump in and play with you on the controller of your choice. It probably would be the Pro controller. I don't know if they said, what controller types it's going to support yet. Of course, it's going to support the regular gamepad, but if the game does support the Pro controller, I wouldn't be too surprised by that. And also with the classic Wii controller as well. But beyond that, just basic Yoshi stuff. Things we love to see. And then another game that they showed off, which was brand new to me, and again, I've never heard of, and I was surprised to see it. They didn't show too much of it. It looked much like, what is it, Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. I think that's what it's called. Again, I don't have a Wii U. My brother does, and I've just played some of these games. But it looks a lot like Super Mario 3D World, and it was called Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. And you're playing as a toad through the whole of the game. It just looks so cool. Now picture something like a Wario game. What was that? There was that one Wario game for GameCube. I don't remember what it was called, where he went around and tried to look for treasure and gold and that sort of thing because Wario was a glutton. Picture that, but with a small little adorable toad with a miner's helmet on and a little flashlight on the end of it, on the top of it, like much like a classic miner helmet. And he's going around looking for treasure within Mario levels. That's basically what it is, and it's the most just fucking adorable thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm very, very excited to see, what the game is actually like. Because they did give a trailer, didn't really mention it, didn't have anyone talk about it. They just showed off the trailer. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is so cool to see. But beyond that, again, I really don't know much about it because they didn't have anyone talk about it, so from what I saw of the trailer, that is all I saw. So, moving on. Next, they showed the one thing that was a redeeming factor for the whole conference, or for the whole Nintendo Direct. They showed off the new Zelda. Fuck yes! I've been waiting for this new Zelda right now, and as of now, it is unnamed. It's just called The Legend of Zelda 2015, and that's supposed to be when it's being released. I do plan on uploading a trailer of, me providing some commentary over top of the trailer, giving my thoughts on the trailer. Even though it is very quick, it's like a 45-second trailer. I would like to get your guys' feedback over there on that video in particular. I am uploading a few trailers, as I speak, I'm uploading a select few trailers of games that I'm personally excited for, and I'd like to get your feedback on it. But as for Zelda, the art style is very reminiscent of Skyward Sword. Maybe not as extreme. It's kind of, the way I'm looking at it, it's kind of like in between, not so cel-shaded, but not the watercolor. It has defined lines, but not like Borderlands. It's a very, very interesting art style. Yeah, kind of like they've been doing game to game, changing the art style, being revolutionary, and making things that are just amazing looking. That's just what Nintendo does. And again, it was just a quick little teaser. The game's scheduled for 2015. I believe they were hinting at the fact that, again, people are pounding all around my apartment complex. They were hinting at the fact that this is going to be an open world Zelda game. Now, granted, at this point, the games have been pretty open world. You have, Hyrule Field, pretty open world. That's about it. But then once you cross a certain border, you would hit a load point and go into Death Mountain, or go into Kakariko Village, or go into, I don't know, Town Square, or whatever, a Hylia Lake, or, whatever game you're thinking of. They were kind of making it sound like that, but even the dungeons, at least I'm not sure, but the way that it was being explained is it seems like everything will just be one continuous game. No loading screens. You'll just go in. If you want to go into a dungeon, you'll head into the dungeon and just walk right in. And again, it could be just early concepts of what they want to do, but I'm looking very forward to this game. And if you guys know any more details, more than I do, because I don't have very much information written down, and I actually didn't do much more research just besides watching these, and that's kind of the point. I want to see how much information they can convey through these brief little conferences and these brief segments, just to show the gamers what they want to see. And if you guys did do some more research and know anything more about the games, definitely let me know, because Zelda is one game that I am very excited for as well. But oh yeah, and right here I also wrote down, you can tackle puzzles and levels how you want. So that was another thing. They kind of made it seem like in the classic Zelda, and I'm talking original OG, The Legend of Zelda, you could tackle all the dungeons in any order you want. Granted, you would hit a point where you'd be like, okay, well, I need an item, let me go to this dungeon. okay, I only need an item, then you'd be like, oh, I found this item, I can use this at this dungeon. It seems like that's the gameplay direction they want to head with the series, and I would be down with that. So, after that, they showed off, not going to talk about this much, but they showed off Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Again, I'm going to buy it because I loved the crap out of both of those games, Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, of course. They didn't really show off any more Mega Evolutions, just besides the 3 starters, Sceptile, Blaziken, and the other guy. I don't remember his name. It's been a long time since I played the games. And then they showed Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. Again, stuff we've already seen. You know, I was hoping for a couple more Mega Evolution teases, but you know, we didn't get any. One Mega Evolution I'd like to see would be Mega Evolution Sharpedo. Is that his name? I think that was his name. I want to see him turn into like a giant Megalodon shark. I think that would be awesome. Or Mega Evolution Wailord. I think that would be really cool too. Now, certain Mega Evolutions in this generation Pokemon in particular would be fantastic and just be crazy cool to see. But not going to spend any more time on that because, you know, it's just right around the corner now. They did show off quite a bit of Bayonetta 2, more so just gameplay. They said, oh, it's coming out October. Just got another 4 months, guys. You know, not much more time to wait for that game. They did announce that it will be including Bayonetta 1. So if you did not play Bayonetta 1 on the PS3 or the 360, you will get a free copy with the Wii U version. So there you go. That was your chance to go ahead and try that out. And they also did reveal that there are going to be some new outfits for Bayonetta. If you're into that sort of thing, you can dress her up as Link, Samus, and I forgot to write down, there's another character they did show off, but I forgot to write down who it was. It might have been Zelda, possibly, but I'm assuming they're going to just make her look completely ridiculous and dressed up in all this cosplay-esque outfits. I'm just excited, you know, to see what this game, you know, what this game is going to be like. I did not actually play the first Bayonetta. I watched a buddy of mine play most of it. It was cool to see. Again, Bayonetta 2 would be a Let's Play game for me. I wouldn't go and buy the game because, for one, I don't have the system, but two, I would like to see the game, but I don't want to go out and buy the whole system for myself, so I would just watch a Let's Play of that for sure. And after that, they showed off more Hyrule Warriors. And one thing I did not know about this game is it's coming out really soon. It's coming out September 26th, 2014. So if you're at all interested in a Dynasty Warriors game that is based in Hyrule, here you go. It looks just like, and I said, looks a lot like Dynasty Warriors. Duh. Because it's being made by the guys that make Dynasty Warriors. And it's not surprising to see that, you know, you can play as, or that the game is much like those other games. But one thing they did show off today, you know, besides being able to play as Link as your main character, protagonist, you can also take control of Midna, Zelda, and Impa. And I would be very baffled if you're not actually allowed to play as other characters. Because Dynasty Warriors, actually, as far as I know, from game to game, does have quite a big roster. And it would be a shock if there's only 4 playable characters. And especially Midna, of all characters, that's just kind of strange pick. Link is, you know, of course. Zelda, of course, you kind of need the 2 of them. And then Impa, you know, again, I'm like, okay, I guess that's cool to see. She's been through the series, but I thought maybe they would do Sheik, or maybe if they do Sheik, it'll be a Zelda Sheik transformation similar to what they had in Brawl and in Melee. So, yeah, that's a game. Again, I'm not going to get it. I think my brother will, so I'll probably watch him play it. Other than that, if you like Dynasty Warriors and you like yourself some Zelda, hey, there you go. 2 worlds colliding this September. So go pick up that game if you are at all interested. And then the next couple games are games that, you know, I'll probably do these 3 in quick succession because the last game will probably take a little bit longer. But these next 3 games are scheduled for 2015. All 3 of these next games are. And those games are Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, which I believe is coming out for the Wii U. And if it's not coming out for the Wii U, it's coming out for the 3DS. I couldn't tell, mainly because it was every time they show you drawing something, I can never tell anymore if it's the 3DS or if it's the gamepad. So I'm like, yeah, it has a touch screen, so it's one of the two of them. There are only two consoles. But yeah, no, it's a very interesting looking game. It's much like Kirby and there was another Kirby game that came out a while ago. Something curse. Kirby the curse. Oh, I don't remember what it was called. But it was another one of those games where Kirby was a ball basically rolling around and you had to draw him paths to follow, and he would follow those paths. And yeah, so that was that game. It looked cool. The art style was like a clay art style. Everything looked like it was claymation and like really pudgy and squishy clay. It was really cool to see. Nintendo doing these crazy art styles with clay, yarn, watercolors, even though Street Fighter did do watercolors, oils, things like that. It's really interesting to see them take a very artsy approach to game design or game art styles. But after that, they showed Xenoblade Chronicles X. It looks awesome. I don't know anything about Xenoblade, so if you guys know anything about the game, let me know in the comments. I know that they did release Xenoblade on the Wii. Apparently it was pretty good and pretty popular. Again, never played it, so I don't really know anything about it. Let me know everything that you guys know in the description. Let me know everything you guys know about the game in the comments, because I have zero idea what the game is about. And it didn't help much that the trailer was in Japanese. Granted, there were subtitles, which I read subbed anime all the time, so that's not the problem. I just couldn't follow anything. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Is this a continuation, a sequel, a prequel, or is it just like the same game but redone for the Wii U? I don't know, but I am very interested, because anything that has mechs, reminds me of Evangelion or Iruka 7, I am excited about. And then after that, they showed off a game called Mario Maker, which is kind of... The name is kind of self-explanatory. Basically, what it allows you to do is take just imagine any 2D Mario game that you played. The classic, original Mario, Super Mario World, New Super Mario Bros., Mario U. Those art styles you can make your own levels with. It's basically a giant level editor where you can create torture levels to torture people and have a fun time doing it. So it's very cool. Again, I'm not a big fan of the whole making games, except for Little Big Planet, which I've never made levels. I just love playing other people's levels. But if the game relies 100% on making stuff, I'm usually not too much involved with that. But it is still pretty neat. My brother said he was looking forward to that game. And like I said, all three of those games, Kirby, Xenoblade, and Mario Maker, are coming out in 2015. And there's the last game here that is also coming out 2015. Is called Splatoon. Not Platoon, like in war, but Splatoon. It's a completely new IP coming out of a new dev that are part of Nintendo now. Basically what it is picture... I don't know a good way to explain it, but it's a territory-driven third-person shooter. What I mean by that is that it's a 4v4, at least what they've shown so far. It's a 4v4 game, shooting game, where you shoot ink balls to cover up each other's ink to claim more land before either all the enemies die or before the timer runs out. And whoever has more ink percentage on the map compared to the other team wins. It sounds simple and sounds like that's kind of boring, but trust me, the trailer is amazing looking and the gameplay is just as cool. So in the main gameplay element for your character is that you can turn into either a person or a squid. And when you're a squid, you can swim through your own ink your own colored ink on the ground, and then if you hit an enemy's colored ink, you'll transform back into a human and get stuck in the ink, and it's hard for you to move around. So it's very fast-paced. It looks very fast-paced shooting mechanics, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing it. Seeing more of this game later when more of it is revealed, and other than just the one area they showed, and the going into more detail with how the game's going to be played multiplayer-wise, other than just this one game type. But other than that, that wasn't really too much more to the conference. Like I said, they revealed another Smash Bros. Character called Palutena, I think. She's from Kid Icarus. That was another thing towards the very end they announced. So they announced the Mii character and Palutena, I think her name was. Again, I'd never played Kid Icarus, so I don't know who this lady was. Kid Icarus or Kid Icarus Uprising, I haven't played either one of those. But at the very end, the very, very end, they showed Miyamoto playing Star Fox. Now, the only reason I know it's Star Fox is because I saw an image somewhere, and apparently it leaked, and that's why they didn't make it a big part. That's what the rumor is. They didn't make it a big part of their Nintendo Direct because Star Fox got leaked somehow, showing that the game was actually being made for the Wii U, and apparently it's been being made for a couple of years already, and there's actually an image that you see right now of Miyamoto playing Star Fox at E3. So apparently they do have Star Fox at E3, unless this image is photoshopped or whatever, but Star Fox is in the works for E3, and it looks like it's going back to classic Star Fox, maybe? We hope so. No more Star Fox Adventures. Honestly, I didn't mind Star Fox Adventures much, but a lot of people really, really hated it. But overall, I didn't think it was too terribly bad. But if we do see a brand new Star Fox traditional, I will be very excited. But anyway, yeah, that was about it. Overall, they didn't really show too many games. It was more so the quirkiness and showing the big reveals. If I had to pick up big reveals for this Nintendo Direct, it was, of course, Zelda. Splatoon, I would say, is a pretty big reveal just because they haven't had a new IP in how long. Hyrule Warriors was pretty neat. And maybe Yoshi. I thought Yoshi looked pretty cool. But everything else I was kind of like, about. So, as long as they showed that new Zelda, man, I am happy and content with whatever Nintendo did. So, the next video, besides some of the trailers I'm going to be throwing up, will be my final thoughts over the press conferences and what the different companies announced, and things like that, and any final bits of information that I found out, in between each of these events or each of these conferences before I wrote all my information down. I'll be bringing it all together because I have all my papers here. I have 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 10 pages of notes that I took for all of these press conferences. So it's a lot of stuff to go through, a lot of notes to sift through and make a final thoughts video of. But hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I know it's been a fun ride for me. It's always nice first Christmas during E3. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. This has been my overview and thoughts of the Nintendo Direct for this E3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below of not only this press conference, but all of E3 thus far, and any reveal that you liked. Well, anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I'm in Hello Japan. I'll see you guys next time with whatever I make. See ya!